Hello, everyone. The reason why is uh we're doing this one specifically is because someone here is a huge fan of Death Head and
I
or
have read
Death's Head.
all of his appearances. Give me more.
You can
He
tell.
hasn't been in anything for like 5 years.
You can tell I'm not the one who's the huge fan. Who knows? Maybe we'll one day have you write a spiritual successor character to him in the comics or something.
I would be happy to. I
Maybe,
love him.
maybe as a villain or maybe
Punched
as
Galvatron.
to one of my heroes or something.
You, I assure you, he is not a hero.
Yeah, he doesn't really seem like one from the looks of him. But it's time for me to learn about who the hell Death's Head is.
He's a time-traveling killer for hire who first appeared in Transformers comics.
He is
but
a
went
freelance
on to have a
peacekeeping
long,
agent, thank you.
strange history
Isn't that the same thing?
Yes, but there's only one terminology where he definitely won't shoot you over it.
Oh my god.
in the Marvel Universe.
Okay.
These are the basics on Death's Head.
Alright.
Death's Head was an original character created in 1987 by writer Simon
I don't think
Furman
we actually have
and
a
artist
toy or
Jeff
any merch
Senior
of this
for the
design.
Wait, isn't Simon Furman one of the people that wrote for the original Transformers?
Yeah, he wrote pretty much all of the UK stories after the initial few, and took over the Marvel run about halfway through before working on the Dreamwave run and the opening IDW run and getting the chance to close out the Marvel comics twice with Regeneration 1 and later Generation 1 Secrets and Lies.
Transformers comic published in the United Kingdom by Marvel.
Well.
He was a robotic alien bounty hunter. He disliked the term and instead called himself a freelance peacekeeping agent.
Ah, that's what
He
you
had
want to know
a
about.
clinical, business-like attitude towards killing. He was happy to eliminate anyone without hesitation, but never for sport or revenge.
Oh.
Only if he was being paid
Yep.
enough to do it. To Death's Head,
Oh.
killing was just business.
Alright, so
He
he's
could
more like
remove
Deathstroke
his
a bit.
right hand and replace it with
Yep.
various projectile
But even
and melee
Deathstroke
weapons.
is going
and
to
was
go for
known
petty revenge
his
if you
dark
piss him off enough.
Yeah. But yeah,
Death's Head, he will legitimately do everything he can to get paid for killing. And he was legitimately disgusted one of the few times he had to kill and wasn't paid for it.
Huh. And he seems
We'll
to
get
like
to that.
replacing his arm with different weapons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on.
sense of humor and his distinctive clipped
Sense
way
of
of
humor?
speaking, often framing projectile and melee weapons, and was known for his dark sense of humor and his distinctive
He has
clipped
humor?
way of speaking,
Yeah.
often framing statements as questions by ending them with an
That's
inquisitive
an arc calling Iron Man
"Yes?"
racist.
What?
Death's Head first. Yes.
It was something like, you're not one of those hypocrites who kill. Well, who's against killing, but has no problem mowing down robots, right? When Iron Man objected to facing a Cybertronian-sized mech in unarmed combat after he demanded trial by combat.
Oh my god.
And Deathshead pointed out, he's just fighting with his body. It's not his fault. Oh, the human race isn't prepared to fight this in hand-to-hand.
That's so dumb. Anyway.
It's
Death's Head
hilarious.
first appeared in Transformers number 113, in a story set in the then future era of
We can hear all that, by the way.
Sorry. Just fiddling with a bag.
2007, after the
Regardless.
events of the recently released Transformers the movie.
Oh.
When Autobot leader Rodimus Prime placed a bounty on fugitive Decepticon Galvatron,
I think you told me about
Deathshead
this.
set out to claim the prize. He discovered that Galvatron had traveled back in time to 1987 and pursued him back through the time stream.
Which is
When
insane.
Rodimus learned that he was indirectly responsible for unleashing Death's Head on the unsuspecting past, he traveled back in time himself.
The time
to
travel
forcibly return
in the UK comics is interesting Because every time they time traveled, they had to displace approximately equivalent mass, and this happened automatically due to the time jump mechanism.
Okay.
And everyone displaced was trapped in a dimension called Limbo, preyed upon by mysterious parasites. Skids was stuck there for years because he was the one Galvatron replaced.
Oh.
When he got out, the horrors the horrors that the parasites had generated in the illusions they trapped Skids in, they became real and came back with him.
Oh, wonderful.
Yep.
Him to the future. Furman had conceived Death's Head as a one-shot antagonist, intending to kill him at the story's end. But Senior's striking design for the character convinced the writer that he had greater potential. And audiences agreed. Death's Head was a huge hit with the comics readers, and he returned for another story a few months later, in which the Decepticons hired him to kill Rodimus Prime. Decepticons Cyclonus and Scourge interfered with the hit, wanting to take Rodimus out themselves, which meant that
So the reason they also interfered, Death's Head found out about the time travel by beating the shit out of them.
Oh. That's why they didn't want to deal with Death's Head anymore.
Yeah. Shockwave called them bitches and said he hired Death's Head because he'll get the job done. Death's Head agreed to the job because they were paying, but admitted that he would take quite a bit of pleasure in this because, Rodimus did not pay him for the attempted Galvatron assassination.
Of course he didn't.
Too happy to accept when Rodimus made him a better offer, paying him to go after Cyclonus and Scourge instead. As 1988 began, Marvel UK was gearing up to produce a new line of original comics that would be sold in both
Intergalactic Bounty Hunter is such a good thing for a comic book. Because you can really do anything you want.
As long as anything you want meant hanging around Marvel UK Future Earth.
I guess.
And the US. And
He didn't actually spend that much time in
made
space.
him an obvious candidate for his own series. But that would require getting him out of the world of the Transformers and into the Marvel Universe.
Oh yeah, they did this a lot, didn't they? They did this thing where they basically stole the characters because there was a clause where if they appeared in Transformers first, they weren't allowed to. Basically, Hasbro owned them.
Yeah, so, I wouldn't say stole because Death's Head, they've done a lot with Death's Head compared to Circuit Breaker, who showed up in Secret Wars 2 and never again.
And so, in his third and final Transformers appearance at the beginning of the year, Death's Head encountered and fell under the mental control of the Transformers' old enemy.
Unicron.
Unicron. Unicron intended to use the enslaved Death's Head as part of a plan to manipulate the Transformers into destroying each other.
Of course he did.
Death's Head fought back against Unicron's control and helped the Autobots destroy him.
He'd mentally taken control over the entire Junkion race and was having them rebuild the planet of Junk into a new body for him.
Of course he was.
His only means of escape was to leap into a nearby time portal, vanishing without a trace. Death's Head's fate was revealed a month later in issue number 135 of Doctor Who magazine. Marvel's companion publication to the long-running BBC TV science fiction series about an alien who traveled in time and space. Tumbling out of control in the time vortex after his plunge into the portal.
I told you he did this.
I didn't remember, okay?
It was an hour ago.
Oh my god. Yes, he was showing me Death's Head toys an hour ago.
You looked up Death's Head toys. I just mentioned the name.
Oh my god. Anyway, yes, it's all his fault.
I curse you with balls fall off disease.
No.
Give you lupus.
Oh my god, anyway. I curse you to always have that cough.
The Doctor, who escaped the giant robot's
I always do
by
have this cough. I just have
Death's
mucus
Head down
too.
to human size and dumping him on
Oh,
Earth in
he
the
wasn't
year
always human size, yeah.
8162 in the Marvel Universe.
He got taken out by the Doctor and put into the Marvel Universe.
This was the setting of the
Yeah,
first of Marvel UK's new original titles.
he tried to
Furman
mug
and
him for the
Senior's
TARDIS.
Dragon.
Of course he did. The Dragon's Claws. That's actually not a bad name for a team, but these guys do not look all that cool. This guy looks like
It
a
was
GI
really
Joe.
hating.
This guy looks like a GI Joe. This guy looks like a reject
I'm gonna look it
Cobra
up.
toy.
These feel toyetic as shit, and I'm gonna be very surprised if there was never action figures.
Yeah, these like all look like strange Hasbro toys that never got onto the market. Anyway. While we're doing this, I don't know.
Claws.
Oh wow, this did not even last until like.
Oh,
How many issues do you think Dragon's Claws ran? Take a
7?
guess. 10.
Wow.
Also, yeah.
Yeah, this he's getting like full on Terminator vibes here.
The Death's
This
Head
is when he
appeared
got his iconic redesign.
Oh,
in that title's 5th issue in October. She was badly damaged in a battle with the
it says
titular
this
team
repairs will
of
cause me an arm and a
Enforcers.
leg. Yes.
Now,
Use.
you might be wondering, how was a Transformers character allowed to appear in these other comics?
Yeah.
Well, while
He had a
Marvel's
one-page
arrangement
short.
with Hasbro did typically ensure that any original characters who first appeared in the
Oh, they
Transformers
did that
comic
thing
would be
again.
owned
Yeah,
by
I heard about
Hasbro,
this.
somewhere along the way, Marvel, realizing the character's potential, had been able to
But they did this
circumvent
for
those
all of
rules
their
and
characters that they
ensure
liked.
that they held the
They
rights
did this
to
for 2
Death's Head.
characters.
The
Only
most
2?
frequently repeated version of the
Circuit
story
Breaker and Death's
claims
Head.
that in
Really?
1987, Furman and artist Brian Hitch quickly produced a one-page Death's Head
Clear,
comic strip.
like this
which
was clearly
printed
just
in
made
several
for him
other Marvel
to
comics before
keep
the
him.
character's Transformers debut.
Yep.
Thus
Like,
securing
yeah, no,
Marvel's
literally, it
ownership
was.
of
It's
it.
one
But
page.
that
They printed
simply
the back of several comics.
Oh my god, I just realized something I can do for my Isekai comic in Marvel. I can technically, since he's technically a Marvel character, I can put Death's Head in there somewhere.
I've been suggesting that since the moment you brought it up.
Really? I completely forgot about
Yeah,
it. I'm sorry, he's just...
never listen to me, Wolfie.
No, he's just a very forgettable
I weep.
character, I'm sorry.
I weep harder.
Listen, at least I didn't forget about him as much as Marvel did.
His last appearance was 2023.
Yeah, and you still haven't seen him since, so there. Anyway.
He works best with bit part cameos.
Oh my god. Anyway. Yeah, I'm used to Marvel, like, buying up characters and just never using them again. I mean, what's the last time we've seen Hyperion in any of them, or the Ultra Force?
World War Hulk.
World War Hulk was a long time ago, okay?
No, it's still recent.
Isn't true. Hitch's signature shows that this strip wasn't drawn until 1988, and it wasn't printed anywhere until May of that year, when it appeared in Transformers number 167 as promotion for Death's Head's upcoming guest appearance in Dragon's Claws.
Oh!
But whatever the case, however they accomplished it,
Really?
Death's Head was Marvel.
So, that one was produced... How did they get it, then? That's weird.
And
I
in
don't
November,
know.
they finally launched his long-awaited solo series.
God, I love
Written
that cover.
By Furman and drawn by
it's a
Hitch,
nice cover.
Death's Head issue number
Buy
1
this
picked up
comic
where
and
Dragon's
stay
Claws
healthy,
left off,
yes.
with Death's Head having his damaged body rebuilt with a new look by his new
this is
sidekick,
his
a young
redesign.
scavenger named Sprat. The series began by chronicling Death's Head's bounty
So,
hunting escapades in
what
the
do you think about
22nd
that?
century.
His partner's... So Death's Head still exists in the Transformers story Beast Wars Uprising. They never call him by name, but it's not hard to imply he's there by just mentioning a freelance peacekeeping agent. With the implication that his partner Sprat is his headmaster.
So, technically, if we really thought about it, he could get a Headmaster toy. Weird.
I mean, you need to transform, but yeah. Okay, also, Hyperion's last appearance, 2017. outside of the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game, The Cataclysm of Kang.
I mean, I wish we had a good enough role-playing game, but they usually don't put much effort into making those, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's why,
Also, Death's Head isn't in any of them, so I see no reason to look into this further.
listen, if you want, I'll talk, if we ever do that thing where we actually play Sentinel Comics, we'll talk to the DM and maybe get, like, a cameo of Death's Head or someone in there. Yeah.
Los
You're always
Angeles.
free to invite me to stuff.
I
In
know, I
later
know.
issues,
I
he
would
was
just have to
flung
get
through
things done.
time again and wound up settling in the year 2020. Though he
Really?
was easily the most popular of Marvel
I do love that the
UK's
thing's
original
just holding him
creations,
upside down.
Sadly, the company's
Yeah.
new line wasn't a big success.
Oh.
And the comic was cancelled after 10 issues, ending on a cliffhanger in August 1989. Still, there was life in Death's Head yet. The story continued a year later in Furman and Senior's original graphic novel, The Body in Question, which revealed
What?
Death's Head's origins.
Oh.
It turned out that he wasn't a native of the Transformers world. Rather, he had been created in the dimension of Styrakos
What?
by a twisted hunter
Yep.
named Lupex. Built as an empty robotic shell into which Lupex
Oh.
planned to transfer his own spirit, Death's Head had
Weird.
been programmed with an independent personality by Lupex's vengeful former disciple Pyra to thwart
Ah.
Lupex's plans for immortality.
Lupex is everything
Between
Death's Head
1990
isn't.
What do you mean by that?
He's a hunter for sport.
Oh. He literally just does it for the fun of it. I see.
Yeah, he wants the robotic shell so that he can keep doing it forever. Also, he's a mage.
Oh.
Death's Head made a handful of time-traveling guest appearances in various American Marvel comics,
Yeah.
including Fantastic Four and She-Hulk. And
Oh.
there were also plans for a new miniseries by Furman and Senior. But this project was cancelled mid-production, as Marvel UK were preparing to make a second push into the US market. And
Of course
editor
they were.
Paul Neary wanted to take Death's Head in a new direction for the edgy, gritty world of 90s comics.
Ah.
And yet, it
in
feels like they...
1992
Okay, so I mentioned this to Mac before earlier. I hate this design so fucking much. I loathe that facial structure. That stupid blade gun. That mane of hair, or that is also cables. But most of all, they actually sanded the edge off of him, personality-wise. He's just a standard anti-hero that actually does do the right thing, being when the chips are down. And that's not Death's Head. He'd demand money.
He'd demand money for his good deeds.
Yeah.
Anyway. What I'm going to say is I'm fine with this design overall. It's just, it's obviously a different character. Anyway.
There's a what if on what if Death's Head had lived, by the way.
The funny thing is, you know that show, Marvel's What Ifs? It's not
Yeah.
very good at all.
Oh, God, no. The entire first arc relies on a complete misinterpretation of how the Infinity Stones work.
Also, they really like Captain Carter, like, too much. To the point of, well, they shove her into everything so much so that any other what if that people actually want Captain Carter is just there for no reason.
Yeah.
It just seems like whoever was writing really loved that they created the character and wanted to keep using them for dumber and dumber reasons. Anyway, besides that point of Marvel's what ifs and in the comics being a lot better, I was fine with the grittier era of the Bronze Age comics. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
2. Death's Head 2 hit the shelves. A new miniseries by writer Dan Abnett and artist Liam Shaw.
I do like a
in
good
which Death's
anti-hero
Head
with a heart
was
of gold, though.
killed by Minion, a cyborg warrior created by Dr. Evelyn Mack for the evil scientific cabal, AIM.
AIM.
Psychically
Which I
absorbed
don't remember
the
what the
instincts of
Emigrant
his
stands for.
victims. But Death's Head's
Doesn't
powerful
matter what it stands
personality
for.
wound up taking control of Minion's mind, freeing him
It
from
didn't,
Aim's
it just
control
altered
and
him a
setting
bit.
him on a
Oh.
new path as the ultra-violent anti-hero Death's Head 2. This new Death's Head became Marvel UK's flagship
I forgot about Overkill. Overkill. But yeah, he became a flagship character.
Apparently, I never looked in Death's Head 2's appearances because I am violently disinterested. I tried reading him. I do not like him.
Starring in his own ongoing series and spawning multiple spin-offs and crossovers.
Wow,
But Furman
that's a
and
lot.
Senior were able to reunite to give the original Death's Head one last hurrah in 1993's What If number 54.
Oh, this is
telling
the one you were
story
talking
of an
about.
alternate universe where
Yeah,
he
armed himself to the
survived
fucking
Minion's
teeth.
attack and rallied a group of heroes to destroy him. Though this new era of Marvel UK titles was initially much more successful than the last, the comic book market crash of 1993 forced the
Oh, yeah, I
company
forgot
to
that happened.
cancel most of their original series. Death's Head 2 was one of the last to go in early 1994. And Marvel UK itself shut down a year later.
Damn.
And
I'm
with
not gonna
that,
say he wasn't
Death's Head
successful. I'm just gonna say I hate him.
for the next
Yeah, I didn't say anything about any of that.
Yeah, no, I just want to make that clear. I hate him. I do acknowledge that he was somehow successful, but
decade. He remained a cult favorite with fans, though, and in 2005, readers voted for him to star in a new story in the Marvel US anthology series, Amazing Fantasy.
Oh,
However, the resultant comic,
Yeah.
written by Furman, illustrated by James Reyes, and set 100 years in the future,
100
didn't feature
years.
the original Death's Head, but a new character,
A new
Death's Head
one.
3.0, an alien cyborg
That
that had been
has-
captured and reprogrammed to serve AIM, but which broke free of their control. Now, it was Furman's
Nothing to do with the
intention to
original.
reveal that this mechanoid
Ah.
was later taken across time by Lupax and rebuilt to become the original Death's Head.
Oh,
But Marvel
Huh.
vetoed this idea.
oh.
Still, later stories would connect the character to the wider Death's Head mythos, revealing that the alien was part of an army that had been brought to Earth from the planet Sakaar by the Incredible Hulk. After being deactivated by Earth's
Interesting.
heroes, the aliens were acquired and studied by Evelyn Necker, who, in
I have no
Death's
idea
Head's
who that is.
future time, would use what
She was already
learned from
mentioned.
them
Oh, yeah. She would eventually make Death's Head. That's some form of Ghost Rider. I don't know which one. Probably Johnny.
her minion cyborg.
Probably.
It was in the pages of the 2009 series Sword that the original Death's Head
Oh,
finally
Sword.
returned, thanks to writer
So
I like
is
Sword.
isn't Sword basically like Shield but dealing with like space threats basically?
Pretty much. They're space customs. They had to stop the Thunderbolts from fist-fighting rock monsters who came down to take vengeance for the noble creatures that had been so brutally decapitated. In other words, they were fucking up the Mount Rushmore tourism industry.
What?
They thought they were severed heads.
Oh.
And it was explained to them that they fucked up and they left because, yeah, they're
Well,
not the brightest, but the misunderstanding was cleared up. And Norman Osborn looked like a tool, which is always the benefit.
he always looks like a tool.
He is a tool!
Kieran Gillen, who had grown up reading the UK Transformers comic and
Oh.
was a big fan of the character.
That's
Yeah.
always nice to hear.
Specifically,
That's why he keeps
this
showing
was
up.
the original
Modern writers grew up with him.
Yeah, it's always nice to hear what people get their influences from. Yeah.
Death's Head's past self, from a
Is
point
it?
in time before he crossed dimensions into the Transformers universe.
Oh.
And in the decade since this reintroduction, he's
That's
appeared in
wait, even
Death-
Spider-Man knows who he is?
No. That's Dr. Octopus.
Oh, that was
universe.
Superior
And in the
Spider-Man?
decades
Yep.
You need to die now, yes. Nothing
since
personal.
this reintroduction, he's
Just a little
appeared
bit.
in various
This design I kind of like. I like the kind of skull head look.
I don't
Here.
remember what this was from.
titles across the Marvel Universe.
This one I also like. Though he looks a bit more like Colossus, I'll be honest here. You may call me
Yeah, he's
Deathhead.
got Colossus arm structure.
Yeah.
Running into
He has that, like,
Spider-Man,
weird arm story that makes a lot of characters just look buff.
Iron Man, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and more.
Dear
Even
God.
joining forces with his future self, Death's Head 2, in the 2014 Marvel UK-themed event Revolutionary War against Dr. Necker and her Death's Head 3.0 army.
That's kind of cool.
Notably, Simon Furman
Oh,
got
yeah.
a chance to
Pause
write
for a
his creation
second.
again.
He was actually the backup plan. Death's Head 2.0 was set in the facility, summarily captured with Necker looking through his construction and going, why does this feel familiar? At which point 1.0 was sent in, and when asked about payment, consider it life insurance.
Life insurance. Oh, I get it.
Simon Furman got the chance to write his creation again
Yep.
in a story
Oh, Simon Furman got to write him again? That's nice.
for the
Yep.
UK's Marvel Heroes, illustrated by longtime Death's Head fans Simon Williams.
Oh,
Death's Head's even scored a few action figures along the way. A 3 3/4-inch figure in 2014's
Is that the one you have?
Marvel Infinite
No,
series.
I have
and a
Hero
6-inch
Clicks.
Marvel Legends figure of Death's Head 2 in 2017.
I wish I could get some of these.
Most recently, in 2019, he
Oh,
enjoyed
this is
his
a metal
own
cover. I like
dedicated
this.
solo miniseries for the
Oh,
first
yeah.
time in 25 years. Written by Teeny Howard and illustrated by IDW Transformers artist Kei Zama, in which he teamed up with the Young Avengers to battle Dr. Necker's new Death's Head 4 and liberate her latest creation, the youthful Death's Head 5.
Weird. I don't like Death's Head 5.
Now, sadly, Marvel's ownership of Death's Head has meant that he and the Transformers haven't crossed paths since the 80s. Instead, the mercenary Lockdown, introduced in 2007's
He might actually be just a fill-in for Death's Head now that I think about it.
He is just a filler. His ship is named Death's Head.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. It also has Arin cannons named after Samus.
Transformers Animated, was created to fill his role in the Transformers universe, and his ship was even named the Death's Head in the original's honor. Transformers stories do occasionally make
What other weapons
oblique
does it have?
trademark-dodging references to Death's Head, though.
Yeah.
Notably, IDW Publishing's comic books implied he spent some time in their universe while bouncing
literally
through time and
just-
space after his original UK Transformers adventures, but before he encountered the Doctor. Death's Head's encounters with the Transformers have been collected in trade paperbacks from Titan Books.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
IDW,
Yeah, no,
while
pause for a
Marvel
second.
has collected
He didn't dwell on Robinson's line, but his last words, his last request when he thought he'd been betrayed and was going to die by Getaway, and about to be killed by the DJD because Getaway's a douchebag,
Of course he is.
was take his corpse, or turn it into a path blaster, rewire it, take his innermost energon, sell it, take the money you got from selling it, go find this freelance peacekeeping agent and give him specific instructions to take this gun and ram it straight up Getaway, and then he got cut off.
Oh, wait, who was the one that said this?
Rodimus.
Oh, basically he wants Death's Head to kill Getaway, but unfortunately the DJG caught up to him.
Well, no, he wants Death's Head after the DJD caught. He assumed he was about to die here at the hands of the DJD, and he wants Death's Head to use a gun made out of his corpse to kill Getaway.
That is an amazing amount of spite.
Oh, yeah. And Getaway stole his ship, his crew, marooned him on a planet, and sicked the DJD on him, which Getaway didn't actually do. That was coincidence.
Huh.
He sicked Overlord on him, however.
Just as bad.
Extraordinarily.
did most of his original adventures and his 2019 miniseries. But however you read his story, wherever you encounter him, whatever you do, don't call him a bounty hunter. Yes?
So,
Yeah.
how'd you think you did with Death's Head?
I think I knew about as much as this Chris McFeely fellow knows.
That's good, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh shit, Crasher. I suppose she's around.
Anyway, thank you all so much, and we'll see you later. I'll probably post this another day, but yeah, we'll see you later. Have a good day.
See,
Follow, like if you
you
like
know
what we're
what
doing
day
here.
it is because I still have this godforsaken cough.
Later, guys.